let's start like this. I want to see where you guys are having leaks and possibly where your faults may be, what you're struggling with. I'm sure there's lots you're doing right, but there's also going to be lots you're doing wrong at the same time. So what I want to do is we'll start with you, Pat. I'd like to see exactly what your trading looks like right now. So if you could turn your screen share on and let's look at what you've been doing.
Right, let me see where I can share my screen. What the hell have I done wrong here? Share screen. Right, to help you understand it, I have been tracking my trades since you first asked us to do it about 2 weeks or a week and a half ago, okay?
Yes.
So I have this file of all my trades. Excuse me. They're all BTC USDT perp. They are all on 50x bar one, and I am up to trading 2 Bitcoin on each trade with that, so about just under $300, all right?
Okay.
Because I was doing small amounts of money, but I wasn't caring enough, so now it means something to me, because that kind of money feels something to me, and so it just gets me a bit sharper, I think. So
Makes sense.
These are my trades. What you'll see is, if it's a plus, it's the start of a long. If it's a minus, it's the start of a short.
So we just see your Bitcoin chart right now, and that's
sorry, right, okay. I'm showing the wrong thing then.
You have looks like just a window share, maybe not a screen share, or maybe you're on a different monitor.
No, I've only got one screen because I'm not at home.
We could also use your Binance order book if you'd like.
Yeah. Okay, we can do that.
That would be a little more intuitive, I think. So, yep, go to Binance there. That way I can see.
This is my trade history. Yeah.
What I want to see is not the trade history. What I want to see is the order history.
Order history. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to pick a random spot that was filled. So I'm going to let you just stop your cursor anywhere on the screen, and then we'll pick a random one that was filled. Oh, perfect. That's a good one. So that was filled at 73.21, and we're looking at 0409. So we're looking at April 9th at 15.28. So if you go on your
15.28 and go back to that.
No, you can actually stay right on Binance. That's fine.
Oh, I'll do it here.
Yeah. Let's find it there. So let's go and look in the past for 0409 because we're on the 11th right now. So yep, just keep going back there.
I'm on the 1 minute. Hang on. Make this a bit easier.
A 15-minute might be good for this example, just so we can get a little more information. Sure. It's only 2 days ago, so it's
right.
Not so
right.
bad here.
So we are looking at the 9th. So it's some where over here. The 9th, and it was, what time was it at?
You have 14.21, and you have a short at
15.28.
15.28.
Okay, 15.28.
Right, 15.28.
15.28. So it's in the
short in this range. Talk us through what you did here.
What I've been doing is, so I would chart, and I redo my chart every day so that I get a meta feel for it and walk my way right down to the minute from the weekly. And then I would have, because I know I did this all week, I only entered on 1 minute greedy entries, either on longs or shorts.
Okay, so you're using 1 minute entries. That's good. So this trade specifically, we've got 15.28, which is right there. So you entered a short here. So talk me through the decision on this one trade that you would have, why you would have, without moving your screen. So this is
okay.
Don't move your screen. Don't move the time frame, and
I'm not touching
what you're seeing right now in this time frame.
In that time frame, I saw it at. I would have looked back, say 5 or 6 candles there, and had a 1 minute hold, which would be the start of a range up. So I would have looked and said, right, well, there's active money going in there because there's enough.
You're looking? Yeah, is this what we're talking about?
Yeah, but I would have seen before that well, where did the money go in the longs to come up here? And so I would have looked without touching it, go back about 5 orange candles.
So these guys here,
exactly.
You're analyzing this. So
And I'm
so what is it?
saying,
What are you thinking when you have? So I want to go to that moment for a second. So you're saying, okay,
right.
we're looking at longs coming in. We are coming down in price like this to this moment. So what are you thinking about this?
I'm thinking that people like you with the money and the brains they would have made some money off shorts coming down on those three blue candles from about 7,300 to around the 71. They'd have re-entered longs and closed those shorts. And I'm saying, right, where would those people likely close their longs?
So where do
And
you think they entered?
I would think they entered just above 7,100.
So show me the level. Find the level where you think they entered on your, like you can
Well,
move
that's a
back in time
15
here.
minute. That's a 15 minute, but there's going to be a 1 minute in here somewhere.
Okay, good. Now,
So I think they'll have jumped up big money in here somewhere,
so,
off
so,
of
so
some level back here.
clearly your short was correct here. Like we've picked around the position 1528. Clearly your short is correct. But what I want to see here is I want to see, like I understand you're saying, okay, we've got a grouping of candles right here that you would have been taking a short off of. So this is in one way correct. There's more to this trade. What else can you tell me about why you took your short?
Right. It certainly would also have been that up here somewhere there was a series of holes protecting, say, a range around here somewhere.
So show me
And
where that range would have been. Draw a level for me
in draw a level. It's one of these things here, isn't it?
because there is one level on your screen that is correct here.
Okay. I would have thought the guys might have saw that as the end of the range and got out there somewhere. Something like that. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to do there.
So you're talking about an actual level here, not a trend, right? Like that's what you're.
Yeah, that would be a target. This origin here.
Okay.
And so those longs would have got out there, and I says, well, now I would have been looking for the 1 minute hold protecting that, and said I'll short there.
Yeah, so that is correct, but you're missing a piece here.
Okay.
So what you're saying is actually correct. So let's talk about that for a second. Your short was great, brilliant short, very nice entry here. I think you kind of hit the top of the range. So the short actually is a great short. And so what you're seeing here is you're looking at contract flow from down here to this range here, just saying, okay, there's a little scalp in here. There's a little bit more information that you're missing here. So right here, for example, where you enter your short is you have it correct in that this is going to have some type of range that it represents. But what you're not getting is that there is a hold level right here. Like this represents that part of the range right there. So you are going to have that same grouping of 15-minute candle. Your theory is correct. It's just that your outlook,
I don't know why it's correct.
You're overseeing on the move. You're missing the larger piece, which is telling you that this leg isn't being attacked, which means all of these break levels in here are not being hit. So theoretically, if we are sitting in this move and this level right here continues to hold us back, there's a hold level here protecting the entirety of the move, which just means long term. Tell me, what does that mean long term?
Well, if that inverse level away over at the beginning of the night at midnight, if that's protecting it, then you're in for long-term distribution.
Right, because
you're laddering down.
Right, exactly. You're laddering down. So you're going to have a piece of the ladder here, which in theory would have been hitting a hold level somewhere in the past there. And then you actually would have had this candle here create the hold level for the next grouping. So what you can see on your screen without even seeing it is that you've already created a ladder down. So where you're seeing, oh, okay, great. We have 1 minute groupings in here, and these do become the correct moment to interact with. So your short, the actual entry and what you based your entry price on was correct, but there's a greater piece to be seen here because if you go to the 1 hour for me,
do you know I am wrong though, because it scares me a bit more. I didn't see all of this, and
yeah,
if this had been just like these, I still would have shorted, and maybe it just would have broke right through.
Exactly. So that's why you're missing that larger piece here, because you can already tell there's a ladder forming.
That's important.
So if we go to that same timestamp, we can see the ladder on our screen without even knowing it's there, right? Like we can tell just by which hold levels were being hit. we can tell. So your grouping, I believe, looks like it was right in there somewhere.
Let me see. It was 9. It was 9.
I believe it's right here in this area here.
Yeah, yeah. And you can see the ladder from back here. Right.
Yeah. You can see it establishing here, here, to here, to here, right? Like so you can see this without even going to the 1 hour time frame. So when we were on the 15-minute time frame, we weren't able to see this side of the screen. We simply couldn't see it. But what we can see is that there is a ladder being tested somewhere. So just as an immediate look on that move, when we see what's those 15-minute charts, right? People have a bit of a problem, okay? And this is the problem. They work from the middle of the charts and out. Okay, so they work like this. It's think of this as a loaf of bread, and they cut the bread right through the middle. So what you're doing is you're working from the middle of your charts outwards. In reality, we need to work from top down or from bottom up, right? We need to work from the other sides of the charts. Too many people do exactly like what you just did and said, okay, I've got this position right here, right? And I see this hold level here. This is working from the middle of a chart. Okay, so this is what 99.9% of people will do. However, if we work from the top down, if we go back to that 15-minute time frame for a second there and find that same moment.
Somewhere here, right somewhere, wasn't it?
Yeah. So just drag the chart to the middle of the screen for me a bit. So what you did here is you said, okay, here's my position, and this is the way you justified it and said, okay, well, there's a grouping of candles here, and then maybe it's testing something back here. See, we're working from the middle outwards. In reality, before I would even look at this position, I would say, okay, I'm here right now, which means I have to understand what's happening here. So we have to work from the top back, right? This will give you more clarity in your trade. So you're saying, okay, without even drawing any lines on the screen, the first things I see is like this, okay? I see, I look at this candle here. Sorry, let me make that a bit clearer. I look at this candle right here, these two candles right there, and I say, they were testing a hold from somewhere else, which means if we're in this moment, I need to take my eyes and look right here and say, we're laddering from here to here currently. By working from the top downwards to the middle to bring us to our position, we already know we're laddering down. We don't have to take a guess. We don't have to sit here and wonder, are we going to move up? Are we going to break hold levels? You waste a lot of time and you waste a lot of your gas in your tank on a daily basis by taking your position in that moment and saying, what am I looking at? Because there's a huge cloud over all of this if you do that. You'll be blindsided by moves. So what's going to happen is you're going to enter a short and you're not going to see that it's actually setting up a break for a move, right?
Yes.
So by working from the middle backwards or the middle out, like if you have a loaf of bread and you slice it from the middle, you're going to have a tough time. You work from either side of it, right? You start with the crust and you work your way to the middle. So the first thing I see here is I look at this one blue candle and I say, that's testing a hold level, which means this is testing a hold level, which means there's something here that's happening. So I already know that we are just laddering down, right? And it's
because and you go back in the same time frame to the highest point of this present range. Yeah, and that's the start. Because there could be, if I went to the hourly, there's something up there 8,000 way back.
Yeah, and so I'm just going to take a random spot here on any chart. We'll just go to Bitcoin. I don't know. Maybe we'll just try to find any random spot, or let's even do something else. Let's just go to. I don't chart Litecoin at all. Let's delete whatever we have. I'm just going to spin it to some random spot. Turn the replayer tool on, and go here. Take a look at this thing and work from the top out, right? So I'm just going to work from the top out. If we were to take this and say, okay, we could start working from here, for example, and you can see my screen, okay, yeah?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, we could start working from here and saying, okay, we hit a break level there, which means we're going to go after this hold level here, which means we might be targeting something back here. We're not going to see the bigger part of the move that's happening. Instead, you know how my flow of visual cues works. What I do is I go like this. Okay, this was clearly testing something right here. So what I do is I immediately do this and say, what was this testing? It was testing an inverse. Come on. It was testing. I just go to my highest point and work down. And I say, we were testing an inverse level on that side. And I can already see we've moved up off this hold, which means we're laddering up. We've moved off whatever this hold is here, this back. Come on. This backside right there. We've moved off of which means currently we're in this segment of the move right here, the backside of this, the backside of this we've moved up off of. So I am working outwards in, right? Because it gives me a better understanding of what's happening. By doing that, I can immediately see that, okay, here is our target up here, which means this had tested this range already. So we have a tested inverse, which means we are going to be looking at this level here, which is pretty much already tested. So really your target becomes this backside right here. Come on, trading view. Let's go. Oh boy, we might be here for a while.
Long lesson.
There we go.
Back at 2 strikes again.
Yeah. So I can even just delete this, and I've worked from the top out because I know that we've already tested inverses. We are already moving up. This point here, I can say like I've worked from the outside in. So now I'm no longer trying to diagnose this because I already see that this tested something. It's a tested range here. We're likely going to stop here. So again, I don't know what's happening with Litecoin here. I'm hoping I'm right. You know, we can say this is even tested here. So really the range is already broken here. This is holding it down. But I'm working from the top out to create something. So now actually all I have by working from the top down is 2 entries, or an exit and an entry. And even this, I would say, likely going to break over top of this, just because the range is so small given the time frame. Like you've got 4%. So then what I would even say is I would say, okay, this is one target, but then there's another target here. The top of this range here is clearly testing this range in here, which created an origin back here. You've got an origin level right here, right? So you've got 2 levels to work off of by just working backwards in, right? So then if we just hit play, I'm sure we're gonna, yeah, see there's its first target, right? But we understood that was a target because we simply just worked with this. We worked from the top down because we saw, okay, we're here in the moment, which means we're going after this. What was this going after? This already had tested the inverse, which means we're going to gap from this inverse to this inverse. And I was very quickly able to see that because I'm just working from the top out or the top down and the bottom up, not the middle to see, oh, what's here? Because you would have missed the move, right? And then you can press play again, and I'm sure you go right to this origin. And then you hold the origin right there, right? So you go right to the origin, you hold this, and then you create a moment where you're holding over top of an origin to create a larger breakout, right? So then, you know, here you can even go larger time frame and say, okay, where's the next top piece? Like this is the next top of the range. Breaking over an origin level like this, you're likely going to test this range up in here somewhere. So you've got another origin that looks like to be right here at 104, right? So this is your next target. If you hold this, you're probably going right up to there, right? You continue to hold this level, and you don't, you actually go down to your next range. But it gives me my exact targets, right? Like it gives me my exact points of where I'm looking to see what's happening, right? And we're going to
let me ask you one question there. That second highest level that you've drawn now, it's been broken down. So would you delete that now? It's irrelevant.
This one here?
No, the one below it.
This one here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is just an inverse. Once it's tested, once it's gone. Like that's
okay. It. Yeah, no. Just I want to make sure because I'm taking them out as soon as mine are tested, they're gone. Right.
And then even this origin level was just testing an inverse right here. Right. So it was actually just testing the inverse of this range. And then once you lose this, the move is gone. Right. So these are called polarized moments, which is also what we're going to be talking about today. But to start with, you know, and we can do this on a second chart here. We'll go to Ethereum. I don't know if I have anything. We're just going to pick a random spot in the middle of the chart. This looks good. So theoretically, if we were in this moment right here and we were to work from the top down, right, you would see this right here is clearly testing something from the past. So you have whatever hold levels back here, maybe the front side of the range. This is already a tested level. So really you are looking towards the next set of ranges. This is a little too close, I think. You know, really you're looking at your ranges, right? Like you working from the bottom up. Okay. So okay, you know, we're just going to kind of slide it this way. So this is tested. So you have kind of an untested range right here, right? So you'd have something and zoom in and actually find it here. You have kind of a backside hold level here. And then you even have a really greedy one on the front side. So you can mark both these levels. Really, the buy is at 103, not 108, but we're going to leave it anyways. It's fine. The top side of our range, just to see what we're kind of expecting. So, okay, right now we are right here in the move. The first thing I'm doing is understanding what is this doing. Okay, this is testing the backside of a hold level, right? We can flip our chart over, testing the backside of a hold level. So we already know this is set. You know what a backside means? It means you're going to bounce in a big way, right? So you already know where this thing could potentially be going. It could be falling straight off a cliff right now because this is a backside hold. I think we all know that Ethereum's going to fall off the backside of a cliff, but I instantly got that just by working from the top down instead of starting from here and trying to understand, okay, what did we test? Oh, we tested this, which means we could be coming up to here next. You'll garnish more information and a quicker set of knowledge by working from this top down. Again, this is very simple. We hit a backside, we're probably, going to bounce. Just going to watch this, and there's the backside hold again, right?
You got the bounce.
Eventually over time, what you're going to do is you're going to end up just losing this trend right here. Like you're going to have this.
I've lost your share, I think, or have you moved screen?
No, it's still there.
Is it? Okay, I've done something then. That's me. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, it was me.
You got it? Okay. So you can see eventually you're just going to break down this trend. You did break it down here, right? Like you lost it there. Trend is going to adapt out to here like this. You've lost it there, and so forth, right? You're just going to continuously adapt this trend and lose trend, right? Like even fine, you can even put it here. That's fine. You're just eventually going to lose this trend. Backside of hold, and it's going to go right to your next range, right? You'll garnish more information on working from the top down or the bottom up, because you'll miss so much of a move and what it's actually doing. Oh boy, this is taking forever, isn't it? You'll miss so much in a move and what it's actually doing by not working this way. And not only that is you're gonna burn through fuel in the tank like crazy. Like you're not. It's gonna be very hard to keep that pace. That actually didn't even go down to our target. It actually went right over top of it there. Wow, not bad. Ethereum did pretty well, huh? I suppose it tested this backside, right? Yeah, tested that backside. It tested an even higher backside. Boy, that would have been a nice one to mark. Jesus.
The TA is still right.
Yeah. It stays the same, right? Like it's the same on both sides. This is the backside hold creating the large bounce down. This is the backside hold creating the large bounce up. But regardless of whether we mark the right or wrong levels, it still stays the same as to where you missed the larger part of that moving down. Because I don't actually know when you closed your trade on that. All I looked at was the entry. I'm not sure where you closed your trade, but that should have told you the larger piece of information that's happening, right?
I can tell you all of my trades this week were the longest trade was less than 6 hours.
Yeah, see, that's a problem because remove this. I'm going to go to where you were. You're in 15 minute at 73.
73.21 or 2, something like
I believe
that.
we're right in here. So your entry is roughly
somewhere there.
Like
73.21, wasn't it? Yeah, and it was off of 1 minute.
Yep, great entry. So you would have done something like this, and you would have went to find the greediest levels here. So you would have went and said, oh, okay, maybe you've got the leg of a move right here. So maybe you're targeting the greedy level right here, or possibly the next one down. So maybe something like this is where you were entering. This looks about right. So you're looking here, right? But you're also running a problem here because you've got, and what you're missing here is you're going to have a large. Maybe we should do this on the hourly. You're going to have a larger trend working here. So this is something you would have had to be aware of in the moment, right? Like you've got a larger trend working here, and this could have easily bounced off this level right here to break trend. Like that could have easily been set up to do that move, or even supposedly right here. This is tested, so then your range would have been somewhere right here, right? So you could have easily set this to break trend up, because I think everybody was looking at this move. Now it would have been incorrect to look at this move like this. Oh, I guess we didn't hold the weekly. We should be going after the daily. Well, for a very specific reason, and I'm going to show you my order books for a second here. I'm just bringing it up on my other screen, my Binance account here. And am I logged in? I'm not logged in. 1 second, I gotta log in here. Takes a moment. They got all the verification and the authentication. So all week I had been, and here's my order book. You guys see that on my screen now?
No. Yeah.
Yep. So all week I'm with some of the mentees, teaching them, what we're looking at. So you go here in the moment, and on the 0408 here, you can see that all day long, because at first I had one person in the morning here at 7 a.m. and then I had somebody at 10 a.m. and another person at 1500. So all day long, I'm telling everybody 7388 is target. We're going to go for a huge short. So you can see I'm putting up 31 Bitcoin orders here, saying like, look, guys, max leverage this. It would be smart if you took a short here, or put whatever you want on this at 7388. The way I ascertain this information is different than the way you ascertain this information. So the way I ascertain this is that I worked from the top down. For example, I can even just delete everything we have here. I don't really need anything here. So back up here. That's fine.
You're on a 3-minute time frame. Do you pick a time frame to start?
No. Don't think of it like that. I'm on a 3-minute time frame just because it's what I was on last time I opened my charts.
No worries.
If we look at this here, and you're working from this moment with these candles here. So presumably, we're just going to mark a level here. 7320 is where you bought. What you wouldn't have saw by trading like this is this. You wouldn't have seen, and I think, I know everybody was waiting to go up after this daily candle right here at 73.99. Like there's a candle right here. Everybody's thinking, oh, we're going after the daily because the weekly didn't hold. So you have the weekly back in this range somewhere around 73.50.
73.40, yeah, 73.45.
Yeah, so we have the weekly here and it's not holding. But the thing is time frame relevance. Okay, first off, time frame relevant. It doesn't need to knife catch it and move away. And we'll talk about that a little later today. But what the point of this is, by working from the top down, this is what you get. You get, okay, I've got a top here, which means this candle here was testing the same level that this candle was. So that's the first key piece of this information. I look at this candle and I say, okay, this candle was testing something, and this ended up being a 1 hour hold off of the weekly. So it was just a greedier level within the same weekly range. This candle was testing the same thing. Now I'm looking at this and I say, okay, so they're both testing a hold level, right? So we're just going to leave this here, and even we'll move it to the middle of the screen because we just want to have the understanding.
What is that hold it was testing is what you're after.
Exactly. We just want to know what it was testing. So that when we see this, we're thinking the same thing. We're going through the same trail of logic flow or visual fidelity. We are saying, oh, this tested an inverse, and now this is testing an inverse, right? So then I can just go in here and I can just go to whatever charts here, and I can say, well, what was the greediest level that was testing? So are we like testing an inverse to an inverse here, right? Like what's going on here? What's the greediest level that we're testing? So then you can even go back here and you can find, I'm sure there's some kind of level in here. I suppose we should find it. I don't know. I'm sure we'll see it on the 5-minute chart here. Okay, we got to go forward more. Aha, yes. Go here, and here's a 5-minute level. And where's the greedy part of that range, right? So let's start range defining this and say, okay, well, where's the final valley that holds this down, right? So then we can go here, and we have that same piece. Like it starts right here. Is there anything else, or is this it? Right? Like let's just make sure there's nothing else. Right now, I'm pretty comfortable with that as our level, but let's just make sure there's no greedier points. And there actually is. There is a greedier point, and it starts right here. So this would have been the start of it's all the same level there, like they're the same price. So anyway, suppose we find this and see if it got hit. Oh, look at that. It got hit perfectly. Interesting, right? So we have an inverse from the past, and we have the greediest level off the next inverse. Okay, let's just simply mark this inverse now and see if we can see what's happening. Oh, interesting. We just inversed off of an inverse off of an inverse. at 73.90, right? Or so my buy where I was telling people buy 73.88, just front run it by $1 or $2. Buy right there, short. And so you can see all day 73.88, 73.88, 73.88, all timestamps in the morning, because I was teaching people this that day, right? And I'm saying, when we look back at this and we go to a larger time frame, by working from the top down, we immediately understand what's happening. So you made your decision, which was the right decision, based on information where you're entering here off of something that's happening here. That's fine. But what you didn't see by working from the top down is the very, very clear ladder that was created off of the weekly before a big dump. And then you even have just distribution to distribution trend, which really just ends up being icing on the cake, because then you've just got your distribution to distribution trend, and you can see how religiously it's followed, which will give you the moments in the future that you need to. So by working from the top down, I don't even have to go into this chart to understand that this thing is dumping in a big way, right? Like I don't even need to. I don't need to start right here in the moment where you're trading and say, oh, what am I looking for? Which is good, but you have to understand that there's a larger piece of information that you're missing that's not going to tell you. So when you
it's part of something bigger,
when you said you've only been in a trade for 6 hours, that's a red flag to me, because that means to me you're not understanding the larger picture of what's happening.
Yes.
So you might be able to take these amazing entries, but you have no confidence in where they're going to go. So you're almost
correct
in bear mode, right? Where it's like, oh, I've made 1%. I need to get out.